Good morning. Welcome to the Hour of Victory Sunday School broadcast. I'm Deacon David Wilson Sr. of the Church of the Advent, where our lead pastor is Dr. Y.D. Thurgood Jr. and his wife is First Lady Lakeisha Thurgood. Thank you for joining in with us this morning. The subject for our lesson for today is healing the blind man. Our Bible basis is John chapter 9, verses 1 through 17. Our Bible truth says Jesus ministered to people by meeting their need. Our memory verse is from John chapter 9, verse 16. It says, "Therefore said some of the Pharisees, This man is not of God, because he keepeth not the Sabbath day. Others said, How can a man that is a sinner do such miracles? And there was a division among them." As a result of studying this lesson, we hope to understand that Jesus expects us to participate in meeting the needs of others. Let's take the time now to read the entire lesson, beginning at John chapter 9, verse 1. "And as Jesus passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Jesus answered, Neither hath this man sinned nor his parents, but that the works of God should be made manifest in him. I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh, when no man can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. When he had thus spoken, he spat on the ground and made clay of the spittle. And he anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay, and said unto him, Go wash in the pool of Siloam, which is by interpretation sent. He went his way, therefore, and washed, and came seeing. The neighbors, therefore, and they that which before had seen him that he was blind, said, Is not this he that sat and begged? Some said, This is he. Others said, He's like him. But he said, I am he. Therefore said they unto him, Well, how were thine eyes opened? He answered and said, A man that is called Jesus made clay, and anointed mine eyes, and said unto me, Go to the pool of Siloam and wash. And I went and washed, and I received sight. Then said they unto him, Where is he? He said, I know not. They brought to the Pharisees him that aforetime was blind, and it was the Sabbath day when Jesus made the clay and opened his eyes. Then again the Pharisees also asked him how he had received his sight. He said unto them, He put clay upon mine eyes, and I washed, and do see. Therefore said some of the Pharisees, This man is not of God, because he keepeth not the Sabbath day. Others said, How can a man that is a sinner do such miracles? And there was a division among them. They said unto the blind man again, What sayest thou of him, that he have opened thine eyes? He said, He's a prophet. Amen to the reading of the word. Now, we want to approach our lesson today in light of our unit theme, The Word is Here and Now. In last week's lesson, the woman of Samaria said, I know that Messiah cometh, which is called Christ. When he is come, he will tell us all things. Although she knew that the Messiah was coming, she had no clue that the man she was presently talking to was that Messiah. The book of Hebrews begins in chapter 1 by saying, God, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. Even today, God is yet speaking to the world through pastors, evangelists, Sunday school and Bible school teachers, youth leaders, and many other witnesses that he is strategically positioned to meet people in the midst of their dilemmas. Unfortunately, too many of us listen to him and yet don't recognize the voice of him that speaks. There are many people who don't want you to hear the voice of Jesus because they know that if you hear the voice of Jesus, they will no longer be able to capitalize on your weaknesses and addictions. In the lesson, the Pharisees, who should have been the first ones to recognize and acknowledge Jesus, were the most intimidated group because the masses of people were turning to Jesus and no longer acknowledging the authority that the Pharisees had enjoyed. They saw the miracles that Jesus worked, yet instead of glorifying God for his mighty works, they tried to belittle these miracles and say that Jesus wasn't sent from God. Nevertheless, Jesus continued to show up where people were in need and worked many miracles to prove that he is indeed the Christ. Now, in today's lesson, Jesus passed by a man that was blind from birth. Now, Jesus obviously wasn't looking for an easy miracle to work. There must have been hundreds of people in the crowd that had headaches, sore backs, memory loss, one arm longer than the other, and so on, that he could have called out to be healed. Instead, he focused on this man whom was thought to have a condition allowed by God because of someone's past sin. Jesus' disciples wanted to know who did sin, this man or his parents. It was still common thought for people of that day that God blessed people that live right and cursed people who sin, even as Job's friends accused him of. Jesus let them know that no one had sinned, but God allowed this man to be born blind so that he would have this opportunity to manifest the power of God before everyone as a witness to him being the Christ. In the first century world, blindness was a severe hardship. Usually, it meant that blind people had to support themselves by begging. Some scholars report that mud made from spittle was a common treatment for eye problems in Jewish medicine. Modern medical science suggests that for that remedy to work, it would take a miracle. Now, the pool of Siloam was a spring-fed pool located in the southeastern corner of Jerusalem. John points out that the Hebrew word for Siloam means sent, probably referring originally to the outflow of water from the spring, but in this context, serving as a symbol connected to Christ's messianic ministry as well. Jesus was the Messiah sent by God, and he sent the blind man to be healed. Now, the blind man's recovery was so remarkable that even the people that lived around him didn't believe that he was the same man. Some asked, "Is this him?" Some said, "Yes, it's him." Others said, "Well, it looks like him." The used to be blind man had to speak for himself and said, "I am he." When Jesus works wonders, people notice. Some were happy for the man and some criticized.